Today's story is called Breakfast at Tiffany's by Dr. Lorna Hill. When you're ready and at ease, we'll begin our story. Breakfast at Tiffany's. More like breakfast at my gran's. Hot toasted pan loaf, smothered with soft yellow butter and her homemade strawberry jam. Mugs of milky hot chocolate with floating skin, perfect for slurping. Then there were her lunches. Findus crispy pancakes, oozing with mince and baked beans on the side. And her homemade crumpets, spread with that jam, rolled up like wee rugs and kept warm in the oven. Gran was a dream maker. She said there were pots of gold at the end of the rainbow, just waiting to be found. My Gran was as beautiful as Audrey Hepburn. To me, she was like a movie star, with gently curled hair. She slept with rollers in. And her high cheekbones, and her sparkling eyes. She had beautiful plump lips, always smudged with colour. Gran always smiled. It didn't matter what she'd been through. War, illness, the death of loved ones. Her smiles were always full of hope and promise. She was always ready for a new day, a new adventure, and a hot cup of tea. "Enjoy life, ducky," she said to me. "Go and explore." And I did. I travelled the world and told her all about it. I sent postcards telling her about Vancouver's raisin and cinnamon bagels smeared with peanut butter, the huge frilly green salads, the raspberry cider. Then, in Mexico, the chocolate-covered ants, and the way the smoke twirled into the star-studded sky at barbecues on the beach. I told her about the rainbows I'd seen and the treasures I'd found. She'd write back wonderfully long, chatty letters in her shaky, spidery handwriting. Sometimes I'd phone her. "Hi, Gran. It's your favourite granddaughter here." She'd chuckle. "You're my only granddaughter, ducky." I could hear Frank Sinatra in the background. An old movie on TV, and pictured her reaching for the remote control to turn the volume down. "I'm just having my lunch," she'd say. I pictured her sitting there with a side plate balanced on the table next to her, along with a frilly shaded lamp and the phone. I imagined the cheese or banana sandwich on brown or white bread with butter. Lots of soft, yellow, salted butter. I knew she would pick at it, her appetite dwindling with age. When I returned home from travelling, I showed her pictures and told her more stories about my adventures. I can still see that smile lighting up her eyes. We'd talk for hours about everything and anything. We drank tea and ate chocolate biscuits from her bottomless tin, an old black and grey tea caddy that sat high up on the top shelf, always stuffed with Trios, clubs, caramel wafers, blue ribbons. I can still feel my fingers easing off the lid of that tin. Often, there was at least one empty yet skillfully rebuilt wrapper in there. Signs that my brother had paid a visit. Sometimes she made shortbread, always inconsistently crumbly or hard. Gran had a pantry with a beaded curtain which hid her fizzy drinks. I loved swishing through those beads to see what was on the shelves. I'd look at the tins of tomato soup and custard and sniff in the musty scent before looking for the juice. Sometimes it was iron brew or Coke, occasionally both. It was always flat, unless I was lucky and she just bought a new one in. But even without bubbles, it was still a treat. Gran always insisted on hosting family dinners on New Year's Day. The red Sunday dishes would be brought out from deep within the wooden sideboard, then filled with grapefruit and melon. The grapefruit made me wince, and I'd hide it under my fork. This was always followed by a roast dinner, which appeared from that tiny kitchen, followed by trifle, which always had a strange taste. It was only years later that I realised it was sherry. Then there was the bottle of Advocat, that thick, custardy, yellow drink that, as a child, I always longed to taste. As I got older, Gran did too. She was stiff and couldn't move about like before, but she didn't complain. She just kept watching the old movies and humming the tunes. Moon River was a favourite. Sometimes I'd see her looking wistfully out the window, lost in thought. Now I know those old films helped keep her dreams alive. Breakfast at Tiffany's? Nope. If I had my choice, it'd be breakfast and lunches at my Gran's. I'd take her out to dinner. That would be my treat. My Gran, Kitty. We were always after the same rainbow's end. I hope somewhere she's waiting round the bend for me.